When's the last time that you've experienced a flow state? You know, that experience where you are so engrossed in a thing, so connected, so just focused on a single activity that everything else just falls away, that you feel like you're just fully in your body, fully engaged in your activity. I've had this before when I've been doing painting. I make I make drip paintings where I just like throw paint around the room and make all sorts of colors, kind of like Jackson Pollock style painting. I haven't done it in a while, and I just realized the other day that I really haven't had many flow experiences recently. I haven't had the experience of being apart from my body, apart from my mind, and completely involved in an activity for way too long. These activities, this experience is really important for humanity. It's important for being a human being because it is the time when everything is quiet. It's meditative. It's fully engaging. It's enriching. After I've had an experience of a flow state, making a painting or making music or anything else like that, I feel great. Like I feel enriched and fully fulfilled for a while, and it produces some of the best work. But I haven't been getting those recently, and I'm kind of wondering why. Part of it is just my general state of mental health. I haven't been well for a long time, and I've been struggling with the attention deficit for quite a bit. I've struggled since the internet became a thing to really focus on anything for any length of time, and it's been getting just worse and worse over the years. But a lot of that has to do with the texture of the online environment. We have an internet that's based on advertising, on capturing attention, monetizing that attention. So there's a lot of different entities, a lot of different factors that are all vying for that same attention, that same focus of your eyeballs and also the focus of your attention. And so rather than being focused on any one given thing, like reading a book or doing a painting or anything like that, there's this built-in reflex that causes one's attention to be diverted, and it's a periodic thing. What I generally notice is I am reading a book or trying to do something creative, and at regular intervals, my mind will be like, oh, check for notifications, or ooh, check for new content on the feed, or whatever. And then, almost involuntarily, I'll be snapped out of my flow state. And even if I do resist the urge to go looking, I'm still snapped out of the flow state. I still am not fully engaged in the thing that I'm doing. And yes, this has a detrimental effect on my mental health and on our general mental health, I should suspect. But I also wonder how much of this is a product of a method of social control. And I'm not thinking like, some conspiracy theory of them trying to keep us distracted all the time. But it's more that the general state of democracy is such that there is an oligarchy that's really actually in charge, and their power rests on us not being aware of the fact that there is an oligarchy that's in charge. And I mean, it's obvious that there is this oligarchy. It's the rich people. It's the people that are part of what C. Wright Mills calls the power elite. These interlocking people of the industry, of military, of politics, various different components of the powerful places of the world that they all know each other. They all talk to one another. They all have their same class interests in mind. They're all collaborating towards concentrating and accumulating more power. So not being able to access this flow state prevents us from being able to think fully and clearly about things. And yeah, I mean, the average person who doesn't know all that much about politics or economics or anything else like that, like obviously they're not going to be able to think fully through the total ramifications of the state that we're in. The average voter, the average citizen isn't like, nobody would expect them to have a full understanding of what's going on. But this also prevents people from gaining that kind of understanding. It limits the amount of time, the amount of effort that we're able to put into this deep thinking, this pursuit of a greater understanding of the world as it is. And it's easy to waylay someone who is so confused by this into some cul-de-sac of other activities. This, I think, is how conspiracy theories work, and how this recruitment of spirituality and recruitment of cult-like thinking occurs, where we're also desperate for this sense of flow because it feels so good, so fulfilling, so satisfying, that anybody who's able to provide a counterfeit version of this sense of flow is able to sell that, basically. So, for example, these conspiracy theories, they provide this illusion that you're clear of mind, that you have a deeper knowledge, a deeper awareness, that you've carefully considered through all of the information on the table, and it gives you this reward saying, hey, you've done it, you've figured it out, you've solved the problem, therefore you're one of the powerful ones, one of the smart ones, and all the rest of those other people, well, they're sheeple. But then also there's a cheaper counterfeit version of flow, which is the scroll, the social media scroll, where you're just like scrolling through content on your feed and you're not really with it, you're not really in it, you're not really doing the things of flow. It wouldn't be the same sensation as I would have as if I was like making a painting or doing a music or something like that. But it is taking me out of my body in the same way as that flow experience would. But it's being commodified. It's being basically used to sell my flow experience to the highest bidder on the ad market. This freaks me out for a couple of reasons. Yeah, there's the aspect that we're not getting our flow experiences. We're not getting the benefits of the flow experiences, which has detrimental effects for mental health, etc., etc. Also, our productivity, our creativity, it's severely impaired by an inability to access this state. And yes, there are ways of getting there, but the default option is not to have flow. But the fact that it can be commodified, it can be recruited into these nefarious schemes by conspiracy theorists, cult leaders, political leaders, that sort of thing, makes us very easy to manipulate in pursuit of the holy, the transcendent, the greater than human experience that comes with being in a flow experience. That tantalizing effect is enough to basically brainwash people into oblivion. Ugh. Anyway, this is a thought that needs to be pursued a little bit further, I think. If you have any thoughts about this, you should write them in the comments, because I'd like to think a bit more about this and talk a bit more about this. I think this is a line of inquiry that could bear some fruit. Either way, I do videos daily, and so if you enjoyed this content, algorithmic things, yada yada yada, check out those videos because they're pretty cool, yada yada yada, yada 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 yada.